Hi there, and I wanted to make a video about peaks and valleys, faith and action. Now, when we going through a difficult time, it's important to understand that it's not gonna last forever, and sometimes you're gonna be in a downhill, and sometimes you're going pushing uphill. Sometimes you're just coasting through life. Now, you don't want to be coasting too much because that means you're not really growing, you're not really learning. But in those times where, everything seems to be happening at once and you pushing towards something and then you got obstacles that come your way, understand that you just gotta take action and gotta have faith that everything is going to work out for your greatest good, even if it doesn't work out the way you expect it to. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's a lesson. So you got to just let go sometimes. And maybe it's God, the higher spirit, karma, whatever, if you're religious, non-religious, whatever you believe. I was brought up as a Christian, but I really also like Hindu beliefs and some Buddhist beliefs. I believe in doing good and then good happens to you. That is karma. And, sometimes it doesn't right away and we don't see it. But maybe years later, we realize that, okay, that was really a blessing. And maybe because you got that, because it was meant to be that way at the time, it looked like a curse, but it actually was a blessing. And then you might have a blessing for something you did. You didn't even anticipate you're gonna get the blessing, and then you did. So if you're going through a hard time, remember that something that's difficult now is probably making you stronger, making you better, making you more resilient. And if you cannot do it on your own, you have to let it go to faith. Let it go to the higher power. And like I said, believe that it's going to work out for the greatest good. That's what I do when I get stressed in business. That's what I do when I have to take on new endeavors, new decisions. Because at the end of the day, we're not taking anything to grave with us. Any financial gain is only material things. Like, what's more important is your spiritual growth, I believe. Your personal growth. To achieve, how you can say, enlightenment maybe, or just become a better person, a better version of yourself every day. I really resonate with this. I think in Hinduism they have a lot of this philosophy. And as a Christian, we do good and we live our best here, not for material possessions, but for helping others. And in return, we do get material possessions in return, because when you work hard, you do get rewarded. It's just there's some sort of law out there, the more people lives you touch, the more help you will be rewarded. So I don't worry too much, and you gotta keep an open heart and a heart that helps people. And trust me, you will not go hungry. If you're not afraid to work to help others, you will have a roof over your head. So you never have to fear that. You want to serve others. But for me, faith, one of those things, and sometimes I say, no weapon forged against me shall prosper too. Even some people do me, let's say they try to sabotage or something. Funny enough, it ends to work out in my favor. oftentimes. Or it might feel like hell sometimes when you're going through this, when somebody, is really frustrating you or accusing you or just treating you unfairly. But then, okay, I see what the God's plan was. It works out as a blessing. And life is short. That's why we have to do the things we love. We have to live well. When we die, do we want to say, I lived with integrity? I contributed as much as I could. I reached for my dreams. And that's why, if you want to be a business owner, if you want to change careers, if you want to have a family, do it now. Don't wait it forever. Don't wait it too long. Because you'll wake up and you'll be old one day. So I just wanted to come up here and share that everybody nobody has perfect lives. And we don't see what people going through. They might appear successful, whatever you see Instagram, and it might seem like, everything comes so easy to them. But you don't see the daily sacrifice. You don't see the early mornings, late nights, missing, maybe parties, skipping, not going on vacations. And it has seasons, these successful people that you might see now, they probably had years of sacrifice. Maybe 2 years, some people might have 5 years, some people might have 10 years of sacrifices so they could live now where others wish that they could live, having more free time, taking more vacation, having different assets. But it's because they helped others, they maybe created business or employment, maybe housing, maybe innovated something, maybe wrote books, maybe contributed as an employee to some company in a way that was really great. And that's why we also can't envy others. We should not envy others because we don't know what they sacrificed, how they got what they have, how they got and where they are. Like a lot of people, they see the result and they want the result that the person has, but they're not willing to do what the person had to do to get there. So it's very important to see not just the one kind of sided thing, like the final result or what we see, what's portrayed. Think deeper. We gotta think deeper. I think people these days, sometimes they just look at the news or social media and they just believe the headlines. But gotta do research before putting people down that accomplish a lot of things. Think, what it took them to do that. Maybe they had so many sleepless nights to accomplish that. And are you willing to do that? Let's say if you wish you were in their position. Business ownership is not easy, but we have to want it. We have to have passion for it. Or accomplishing anything great is not easy. Being an athlete is not easy. An athlete that wins, and trains every day. And it's cumulative too. You gotta small actions every day compounds to huge results eventually. That's two. Being willing to do it day in, day out, being able to do the boring work gives results that don't look so boring. And you gotta love the results. You got to love the work, not just the destination. It's okay to also strive for money. There's nothing wrong with that, because hard work is rewarded by money and smart work is rewarded by money if they are achieved with integrity and not taking advantage of anybody. But you also gotta work the process. You gotta love the process. A person that loves walking is gonna walk much further than a person who only loves the destination. So you gotta think of that. So if you're going through something, remember, there's peaks and valleys, and you gotta have faith giving into maybe higher power hands, into your faith, whatever faith you follow, hands. For me as a Christian, that is God's hands, Jesus' hands, and doing your best every day, taking action, and believing that, it's going to work out. What helps me to keep going every day and becoming the best version of myself and helping as many people as possible. So thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on this, and I'll see you in the next video.